Okay, so welcome back to another Ultra League video here. So we're gonna having a good meta team, which is Alolan Muck paired with the Cobalion and Virizion in the back. So hopping into the first battle, we have Alolan Muck on the lead against the Talonflame. So my backline really struggles against the Talonflame. That's the reason why I'm staying with the Alolan Muck, and hopefully getting an Acid Spray debuff straight away is the best way to actually go. And commit to the farm down. So I think that's what I'm thinking here. So the Talonflame decides to throw. I'm gonna go ahead and shield the first charge move, and likely it was a Hurricane. It was a very spicy moveset from my opponent because not having a Brave Bird, I think that's good as well. Some people don't prefer Brave Bird because it lowers your own defense. So that's the reason why I guess my opponent is running uh, what I can say, the Hurricane moveset. And now in comes the Tapu Fini. Now I am very surprised. Like, they are core broken in some way. Like, why the Tapu Fini will come into an Alolan Muck which is loaded on energy at the same time. And this Tapu Fini doesn't know that it's gonna get shredded apart from my backline as well, because Virizion with the moveset of double kick and leaf blade, it gets completely quickly to the leaf blade in time, as you can see, hoping to get the final shield from this game for me, or taking the Tapu Fini completely out. Okay, we got the shield, and now they swapped into a Chestnut. Okay, this is completely like understandable why they swapped in a Tapu Fini instead of the Chestnut. I mean, Alolan Muck, so that's what it's capable of, it's very good down the meta, and running with Poison Jab is really good because of the lot of Tapu Finis out there. I just saw like 5 or 6 Tapu Finis in my 2 sets of battle today. It was yeah, very satisfying to hit the Poison Jab and Acid Spray. That's very satisfying to see as well. So hopping into the second one, um, we have Alolan Muck on the lead against the Charizard. So remind you, this is a Fire Spin Charizard, so it will not get to the Blast Burn as quick as possible. So they swap into a Swampert, and I just pulled the trigger early. I went for a Leaf Blade instantly because I don't want the Swampert like to have Sludge Wave and does some super effective damage on myself. But at the same time, I was like thinking, did I make a mistake? Like, I should have farmed down for more energy, rather letting a Sludge Wave, because it cannot one shot, right, at the same time. So now this Charizard decides to throw. I was suggesting it was a Blast Burn, but no, it was a Dragon Claw, and my opponent is now in a really tough situation where he needs energy in order to get rid of my Alolan Muck. But here he went for the bait and decided that I will shield, and which I'm not, because Virizion has done his job. It's a Swampert counter. That's the reason why I have Virizion, like to take down the Swamperts instantly, or the ground type Pokemons, which is a big troublesome for my Cobalion as well as the Alolan Muck. So that's how this team goes. The unique cross coverages that these teams have. Once again, Tapu Fini in the back, and this Tapu Fini is gonna get completely destroyed from the Alolan Muck, and it is just so satisfying. This is just satisfying to see, like Tapu Fini just getting shredded from the poison jabs, and yes, and they decides to throw as well. So I'll go ahead and give a shield, because Alolan Muck is looking to really close me this game. Why not give it a chance, right? So that was a really good game for my opponent. And do subscribe and do like the video if you like it, and do share the video at the same time. So hopping into the third battle, we're gonna have the Alolan Muck against the Venusaur. So this is a very positive matchup once again, but Frenzy Plant didn't go as I thought. Frenzy Plant is completely resisted on the Alolan Muck, but look at the amount of damage it does. It does around 25 to 30% of the damage, and that is something which I was not expecting from the Venusaur. It's a very hard hitting community day charge move, exceptional well. Like, even though it resists, it does a good amount of damage onto the Pokemons, even has a bulk. So a Machamp swaps in straight away. We're gonna be applying that Acid Spray debuff on the Machamp straight away. They decide to just let it go, and now I'll just commit to the Poison Jab, farm down if possible. But my opponent opens his trigger early and just gets a cross chop and a little bit of farm down. I'll come in with the Virizion, and I'll decide to completely farm down the Machamp in this point. So I know I'll be hit with 2 cross chops at the end of the day, but Virizion is just so tanky. It is just very tanky. Virizion is a Pokemon like which gets only one shot from a Blast Burn or from a Shadow Charizard, but it's really bulky. And pairing with Alolan Muck and Cobalion, I guess It's really great as well. So the only counter for this team is the Charizard, but at the same time, the Charizard cannot take it single-handedly the whole team. You know what I'm trying to say, right? So that's how it goes. So Venusaur coming in and it throws away the Frenzy Plant, which is of no use, and in the back there's an Alolan Mug, and Cobalion can handle it because it just resists everything. The Poison Jabs, the Acid Spray, and the Dark Pulse, everything is resisted, and usually the Alolan Mux which is paired with a Poison Jab run a moveset of Acid Spray and Dark Pulse. And if it is a Snarl variant, which is a different variant of Alolan Muk, which uses the Snarl, Dark Pulse, and Sludge Wave, so subsequently. And now we're gonna be throwing off these Sacred Swords and hoping to get the Alolan Muk very low. I think that's the gameplay here. So we stopped the Dark Pulse there. Why? Because they applied me the Acid Spray debuff. So with that, where I can shield it, and I don't want to like risk it in the end. So I want to just have a smooth gameplay where I can knock out my opponent very easily. So Alolan Muk survives with a HP and a Dream, and they make a beautiful swap into the Venusaur. And even though it's fine, because even though the Alolan Muk has the energy, it's not enough to one-shot the Dark Pulse, and Acid Spray is something which you should not threaten while you're using a Cobalion, right? So hopping into the fourth one. So I had a really good positive results with this team because it is so like versatile, because each Pokemon covers the different types of unique like coverages around the meta, right? When you see Alolan Muk, it covers all those fairies, and Cobalion is a part steel, so which does not take super effective from the fairies, but it takes neutral, as you can see. So Haxorus in the lead, which is really good for me because of the Poison Jabs and the Acid Spray debuff. So this Haxorus gets to another Breaking Swipe in time. I swap into the Virizion, but due to the Breaking Swipe debuff, this Haxorus is now able to hang on and get to another Breaking Swipe, which is very annoying, and now we get a Drapion in the back. So we had two Breaking Swipes for the Virizion. I think this will do a lot subsequently less than what it used to do. Yes, that's what. So Virizion, once again, you should have this Pokemon in the roster, man. This is something which, if you need to like rank up your elos or come to the stage where you can hit the ace, veteran, expert, I think Virizion and Cobalion is your must-go Pokemons, because it has bulk, it has a good moveset, and it's at the same time very versatile. It can spam those charge moves like anytime. Just 3 double kicks to the Sacred Sword and Leaf Blade, and 5 for the Stone Edge. Even Virizion has access to Stone Edge, where you can also use it, because hence I was running Cobalion with the Stone Edge. So I decided to run my Virizion with the Leaf Blade, or usually I run it with the Stone Edge itself, because to threaten the Charizard or to just one-shot it. So you can also like TM that if you want to. So in the back there's a Steelix, so they decide to catch the charge move on the Haxorus. Really good catch by my opponent there. Beautifully catched on the Haxorus, and now this Steelix has really climbed itself over the last week. You can see it is ranked at number 2 in the Ultra League because of its bulky like nature. Yes, right, because it's very bulky, right? So at the same time, what we do is here, see, this is something which I wanted to explain you guys. Like, what I did is, I went with my Cobalion, I instantly fired off the Sacred Sword because I don't want it to fire after the like the Breaking Swipe. But my opponent, what he does is, he goes for the Breaking Swipe, I load back up on energy, swap my Alolan Muk, went for the Acid Spray, he went for the Breaking Swipe, he undercharged it, where I could get to a Dark Pulse. And now, because I have swapped my Pokemon, sorry, I could have the debuffs all cleared, and now the Sacred Sword hits more because of the Acid Spray debuff. I hope you are trying to understand, right? So that was the fourth battle, which was very interesting. Like, it was a little bit back and forth, but still we could be hanging and win the game. So an interesting lead, Skeldritch in the lead against the Alolan Muk, so where we can put some pressure with the Dark Pulse. They swap into the Wall Rain, I swap instantly in my Cobalion, going straight away for the Sacred Sword, to hoping to get the first shield of the match, or just taking the Wall Rain pretty low. Yes, that's what it happens. So the Wall Rain decides to throw its energy. I don't want it to be an Earthquake, but instead they bait me with an Icicle Spear. So instantly now, if they shield this Sacred Sword, they're gonna be going for the earthquake, I believe. Yes, if they shield, they have the earthquake ready to go. So if you want the Cobalion to still be alive, you can absolutely shield it. So I invested 2 shields. It's okay to take the switch advantage because we have a good alignment of Alolan Muck to the Skeletrich, because Skeletrich does very well against my backline. So that's the reason. And we instantly fire off the Stone Edge against the Skeletrich because I don't want this thing to like take much energy. So we swap straight away into the Alolan Muck, going for the Acid Spray. Will we get a shield? Yes, we do get a shield. They fall for it. Beautiful. And remind you, Skeletrich has a moveset of Shadow Ball. It has Disarming Voice with the fast move of Incinerate. So Shadow Ball is completely resisted on the Alolan Muck. And in the back there's another spicy Pokemon, which is Neoscorada, which is the Sprigatato's final evolution. Pretty spicy team from my opponent, where he ran the double Paldean starter Pokemons, and this Neoscorada is about to get shredded by the Alolan Muck anyway. So Skeletrich decides to surrender anyway because they know it's over. Cobalion in the back will take care of it. So winning that match by able to keeping all my Pokemons healthy at the same time is really great. So hopping into the last final battle, I believe. So really positive sets with this team. So you should try this if you have a good IV Cobalion with you. I went for 10, 15 and 10. So there's an Ampharos. So we go straight away into the Acid Sprays, and you know it's a very positive leave when it's an Ampharos. So Ampharos has access to the new charge move, which is Trailblaze, right? So they swap into a Cresselia, and now this is, once again I want to explain you. See, every time when a Cresselia comes, always go for the Dark Pulse, because what happens is the Poison Jab Alolan Muck, they expect you to be like you are throwing the Acid Spray first, then you're gonna be throwing the Dark Pulse because it does more damage after the debuff. But always try to get the Dark Pulse first off because they are likely not gonna be shielding that. And now if I go for the Acid Spray, they will fall for the shield because it will be in a range where it can get knocked out. That depends on the IVs sometimes, where the Cresselia, there's situations where it get hanged on as well. So we come in with the Cobalion as we resist the Grass Knot as well as the Moonblast. Moonblast is not super effective, it's neutral in this situation because of the steel typing that is there on the Cobalion. And now we're gonna be throwing the Stone Edge and getting rid of the Cresselia. Cresselia, once again, it's another very viable Pokemon that you should need to have in your roster. And in the back, this is Skeletrich. Oh no. If I knew this, I would have like hold my Alolan Muck with more energy. But here I wanted to like show you what happens is, okay, the Ampharos decides to throw energy. I still have 2 shields. They go for the Brutal Swing, which is not enough to KO my Cobalion anyway. So they come in with the Skeletrich. Here I make a mistake. I should have gone for the Dark Pulse instantly. You know why? Because however, I will not survive the 2 more or 3 more Incinerates from the Skeletrich, and as long as I move to the next charge move, I'll get farmed down from the Skeletrich. So I think going for the Dark Pulse is a safer option there, because one thing is you'll get the shield. Second thing is if there doesn't shield, it will land for a super effective damage against the Skeletrich. So here I make a mistake. I went for the Acid Spray, going to be a little bit of greedy because I was concerned about my backline, because Virizion does not do good against the Skeletrich, right? Because of the moveset instantly. I went to catch the charge move on my Cobalion and I failed that too, and this Skeletrich is now loaded on energy, and now I'm gonna be swept with Paldean starter Pokemon here, even though I have such a good bulky team, but still we all make mistakes, we all do mistakes, so it's a part of the learning. It's okay. Having fun is the most important thing that is very important while you're playing or when you're battling. That's more important. So it's a good game to my opponent. He played it really well. So absolutely. So that was the team. I want to focus on that, and thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Gotta catch 'em all.